This is Sue Summer, and I am with Walter Summer, who is going to be telling us a story about WKDK in his life. Now, you say your dad used to turn it on in the morning when you first woke up?
Oh, yes. They had to hear the names of the birthdays on it before we went there. And if there was any indication of snow remotely, everybody's calling the radio, listening to the radio station to find out, because the superintendent of education stopped answering his phone because people have been calling him since 6:30 in the morning to find out when we're going to have to go to school.
Well, I want you to tell the story you were telling me earlier about when Newberry College was going to be headed off toward Kansas City for their basketball tournament.
All right. Well, that was back when I was in junior high school, which is many moons ago.
Give us an approximate, like 60s, 50s.
Well, I'm trying really hard to remember.
Probably 60s.
Early. Late. Carl Short was playing.
All right.
He was our star. And we were going to Kansas City for the first time to play for the NCAA championship or whatever our division was. And WKDK, Mr. Coggins, had come up with the idea to raise money for them so they could go, because we're poor school. So they did a radiothon of calling in, playing music, people pledging money, very similar to what y'all do for the school books and stuff these days for the students. And they wanted to raise $500, I believe it was, to go out there, and they raised the money, and then they said, well, let's send them out in style with getting them new uniforms and stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, they raised somewhere around $3,000 that night.
That's phenomenal. Now, you also had an experience with WKDK when you went looking for the UFO, like so many of us.
The great UFO hunt. I'm a freshman at Newberry College studying for a physics exam. And, of course, you're listening to WKDK and good music. And then you hear the voice with some Shotzi McCutcheon. He's out there on the mobile unit. Mobile Unit 1, chasing the flying saucer. Now, Shotzi did not say it was a flying saucer. He said, I don't know what I see, but I see it, and we're following it. Well, you know, when you're confronted with a real-life historical event like the UFO, or studying for physics out in the car. Well, you get out there, we're heading out College Street, and there is a line of cars in front of me.
It was a parade. Chasing Mobile Unit 1, and we're getting the reports back. They won't confirm. They're saying, well, I don't know what it is, but we see it. It's sitting over. Well, I never did quite see it, maybe because I was watching the road. But we all saw the other cars watching for it.
We're all down the road. You have a line of 20 cars being led by Mobile Unit, WKDK Mobile Unit 1, going over the bridge.
And you also talked about there were some disc jockeys at WKDK in its early years that were tricksters.
Oh, yes. My father taught at Newberry College. And his anniversary came around, so he called out doing the dance party, and they did dedications. And he phoned in. He wanted to hear the anniversary waltz.
Very sweet song.
I don't know, and they never played it. But one of his students apparently was out at the station and realizing that was professor wanting to dedicate to his wife the anniversary waltz. Thought it was sweet, but they could not allegedly find the song out there. So they played
the next best thing.
That's the thing they could think, sir. It was a song about standing at the chapel marrying the wrong man or something like that.
Left me at the altar.
Yeah. It was something off like that because Mother had been sitting around. He told her he was playing the dedication, so she's sitting around waiting to hear it.
In the doghouse might be the thing for that.
Well, no. They blamed the student. They thought it was funny. I'm not sure she thought it was funny, but okay.
She said she thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's interesting when we talked about WKDK's anniversary, you immediately went to Newberry College because how many football games and basketball games and baseball games
of Newberry College have you listened to on WKDK?
Well, growing up, I listened to the road games on there. Mm-hmm. I guess starting about junior high, we went to all the local games at one point. I can remember at one point listening to, I must have been grandma's students, because Steve Peterson ended up getting a broken neck, who was one of my father's students over, and he went out there and they raised money to help.
So from the time you were a tiny tyke.
Oh, I grew up on WKDK. Let's see, Dad came back from graduate school in Columbia in early 50s. And after that, I mean, that was it. You have one black and white television in the family room. It's not sitting in your room. And so the entertainment was WKDK Radio, because nothing else came in worth a word I couldn't use then. If I did, I didn't know what it meant. But it just became, it's part of your life.
All right, let's say happy birthday, WKDK.
Happy birthday, WKDK, and a feliz cumpleaños for our Mexican-speaking audience.
Thanks, Walter.
Bye.
Thanks.